Hey, I found the BS. Here it is. They repeat offenders, officer. They here every weekday. Spreading the same nonsense. Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Who Raised Y'all, where we highlight those unique individuals going above and beyond to make society worse.
Their army is gone. They're just about, look, their navy is gone. Their communications are gone. Their leaders are gone. 2 sets of their leaders are gone. They're down to their 3rd set. Their Air Force is wiped out entirely. Think of it. They have 32 ships. All 32 are at the bottom of the ocean. Other than that, they're doing very well, Coach. Very well. We're doing, our military is doing phenomenally.
You know, the kinds of people you'll see asking to speak to the manager at the pearly gates.
I want to talk to the manager.
Hold on a second. These gnats always come around just to annoy you. Let me swat this real quick.
I've got to be honest. She's about 5 minutes away from getting a show on the weekend at MSNBC. That's clearly where life is going now. Her House seat was basically all but eliminated, but she left it anyway, so it's no longer hers. And she didn't make it in the Democrat primary. It's not like she lost in the general. She couldn't even get through the Democrat primary in her home state of Texas. So that's done. So yeah, I'm thinking given the love that was espoused for her on the set by Rachel and Nicole, you know, maybe one of them will be willing to give up their spot for a black woman in America. Isn't that what you're supposed to do? White privilege, ladies, move aside. Jasmine Crockett needs a job.
Megyn demands that Rachel Maddow or Nicole Wallace give up their jobs on MSNBC to Jasmine Crockett. White privilege, ladies, move aside. Jasmine Crockett needs a job. You know it's bad in MAGA when they presented hate like hostage content. Your heart wasn't in that, Megyn Kelly. I mean, your heart wasn't in that, Megyn Kelly. I seen way better. Megyn Kelly, you didn't do the black voice or nothing. You didn't have no other black vocabulary you could have used for Jasmine Crockett? Must be sad over there. Megyn Kelly, you don't seem happy.
How awful would it be to be one of these leftists? You're not joyful. We can see that. You're very angry all the time. To get up there and perform the whole show in Spanish is a middle finger to the rest of America. I don't have any pearls of wisdom other than go f*** yourselves. You idiot, know-nothing Hollywood starlet. Heart attacks and potentially death. We're in mourning, you asshole. We're not capitalizing on the death of Charlie. We're in mourning. We have 310 million who don't speak a lick of Spanish. Hello, Disney. You're going to have to redo your film again because this woman is a pig. F you, Taylor Swift. F you. F you, Taylor Swift. I knew what you leftists thought of feminism. It meant abortion and crapping on men.
We can kiss every woman's space goodbye. We can kiss women's rights goodbye. We can kiss sororities goodbye. We can take off our tops and our underwear and do our yoga.
She went to a fundraiser to raise money for Hamas because it's inappropriate. You absolute disgusting evil cretin. This is supposed to be a unifying event for the country, not for the Latinos. Until you get that through your thick head, you'll keep losing. You absolute asshole. What a dick.
Because that's the Megyn Kelly hate I know. You know what I mean? She say it with her chest. You know what I mean? That's the Megyn Kelly that I know. But this right here, and then when you not happy, you miss layups. You know what I mean? you don't see what's right in front of your face. Like the fact that if anybody giving out DEI jobs, you know Kristi Noem gonna get it first. You know, come on. You know Kristi Noem is gonna get that DEI job first. And if not Kristi Noem, Megyn Kelly. Valentine Gomez sitting right there.
Reese Waters is in the house, y'all. Bringing truth like a true social rap shepherd. What? Weathered all the storms, yeah. He's the bridge over troubled waters, yeah. The report. Hey, where the real never ends. Woo.
Oh yeah, don't think I forgot. Valentine Gomez, the extremist MAGA candidate for Texas's 31st congressional district, lost the Republican primary and received only 10% of the vote. She is now like a typical Trumper, claiming the primary was rigged. Oh, Valentine Gomez, please tell me more. Please tell. This will be the first time I really want to hear you out on how it was rigged against you by the Republicans during the primary. I'm rubbing my hands like Birdman.
Texas, they're stealing my election by completely removing my name from the ballot. So if you don't see my name on the ballot, do not leave the polling site until they give you a ballot with my name on it.
They told me that I could not vote for you.
Really? So, and you saw everybody else's name except mine?
Yes.
Now, Valentine Gomez, that was his family. Yeah, no, his family told him he could not vote for you and still come back home. That's what that don't mean it's rigged. It just means they know who you are. That's all that is.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. And you live in Bell County, right?
I live in Bell County.
Can you tell me the city of where you live, please?
Rogers, Texas.
Rogers, yes, that's part of the district.
You're the only one that scared them, so that's why they're coming after you.
Yes, and
Come this way. I'll be more than glad to meet you there and confront that lady in front of you.
oh, I would love to, Sammy. They know exactly what they're doing. They're stealing the election. They're helping John Carter. And the only way they can win is by taking me out of the ballots.
Yes.
That's the only way they can win, by cheating, because nobody in good conscience wants to vote for an 84-year-old dude. So Texas, we have to make this too big to rig, or otherwise the Lone Star State will fall to the Mohammeds.
That is interesting. The only way they could win is to cheat, referring to her own right-wing MAGAs, and then follows that up with nobody wants to vote for an 84-year-old dude. That's not going to land well on Hannity. They pushing that third term over there right now. Yeah, they pushing that third term. Megyn Kelly, you better take care of her. You know what I mean? You better take care of her, but not before we see the full extent of the dragon. Let me see them numbers again. Let's see. We got John Carter at 59%, Raymond Hamden at 8.8, and there is Valentina Gomez at 8.5%. Oh, they killing you in the comments. They are killing you in the comments. She ain't even hit Wesley Hunt numbers. She ain't even hit, and Wesley didn't even have no proper signs. You mean Wesley Hunt took his boot to the number of votes that you got, Valentina Gomez? Let me find out. You did all that simping, went cross country, cross state lines, from Missouri all the way down to Texas, to not even crack 10% of the vote. That should be a federal crime. It really should. That is nasty work. I'll tell you this, Valentina, though. You can head on down to that unemployment office. You can follow Kristi Noem down there. Megyn Kelly will show you the way. Now, I'll be honest. When you get there, they're going to be screaming a bunch of slurs at you once they hear your accent. You know what I mean? So I told you about that. I tried to tell you about that, but you wanted to focus on the black people and the Muslims. So if I was you, I would pretend to be mute, because don't let them hear that accent in there. Do not let take it in your own hands. Take it in your own hands. Man, that is a FAFO for 2026, is it not? I mean, really, that's bad. I thought Megyn Kelly was down bad. I didn't know the right wing super PACs was that. Y'all couldn't get her to 10%. Just put a 1 on the graphic. Won't nobody know. Take it away from John Carter. He won't notice it. He 84.
Damn. I'm sorry.
Oh no, don't go nowhere, Megyn Kelly. Don't go nowhere, Megyn Kelly. Cause I got something else I wanted to holler at you about. Cause this was you, right?
Look, there are massive divisions over what we've done here, and people are going to change their minds over the coming days and weeks, one way or the other. But my own feeling is no one should have to die for a foreign country. I don't think those 4 service members died for the United States. I think they died for Iran or for Israel. I think I understand how this helps Iran perfectly well. I get it. I mean, I hope. Long term, we'll see. But they seem rather jubilant. 80% of the country does not support the Ayatollah. He was a terrible, terrible man. No one's crying that he's dead. No normal person. But our government's job is not to look out for Iran or for Israel. It's to look out for us. And this feels very much, to me, like it is clearly Israel's war. Mark Levin wanted it. It's his war. Ben Shapiro, Lindsey Graham, Miriam Adelson. That's obvious.
Now, I don't altogether oppose that position at all. In fact, I just did a piece all about the right-wing frame when it comes to Iran. At the same time, you saw fit to follow that up with this.
I support the president. I voted for the president. I campaigned for the president, as you know. But that doesn't mean, and being a conservative or being a Trump supporter or being part of MAGA does not mean you have to accept another Middle East war without questions. And anybody who tells you that can suck it. There's nothing unpatriotic or unsupportive of one's conservatism or general adherence to MAGA type principles to say, I would like to be better convinced that this is worth the sacrifice of American blood and treasure. That's where I am. That's where a lot of people are.
And you know, Megyn Kelly, I would like to be convinced that these gas prices up under $2 because the sign says 3 and change. I don't know what it is that you need to see exactly that got you sitting on the fence talking about, I would like to be more convinced, but it's the kind of rhetoric you might hear from somebody who sat there on that same platform and made excuses and ran interference for Jeffrey Epstein. Oh yeah, we ain't forgot. In fact, we have that content forever. So I know how it seems like you could sit there right now and you could just spew absolute nonsense, no matter how problematic and insane it is. The world be turning. Kristi Noem just found that out. So I would rent, not buy space right there. That's number 1. Number 2, just imagine how that's going to look in time. That's number 2. And number 3, you know, it's interesting because somebody on your side of the aisle told us about people like you when it comes to the media.
Everybody knows the only reason we're having this war is because Israel wants it. This is their last chance, they believe. This presidency is the last presidency where they're going to have unequivocal bipartisan support. You can't primary every Thomas Massey, and there's a whole army of them coming at some point because everyone can see what's going on. And you could shut down X, and you can shut down the internet. You could be like Great Britain and arrest people who protest Israel, but attitudes are not going to revert to what they were 5 years ago. Sorry. And they know this. So this is their last chance. What's so amazing is that Israel, which at least is acting in what it perceives to be its own national interest, is joined by its shills in the United States, of course. But really, its only other ally in this is the American news media, whose job it is to tell you the truth and inform you as to what's happening, to tell you, hey, wake up, the world could be changing, and it's going to affect you and your family. Instead, they've been lulling you to sleep with the same variety of transparent lies and propaganda.
Now, Tucker, I very much appreciated that. I very much appreciated that you said would need to be said, but we need to holler as well, sir. We need to holler as well, because this was you too, wasn't it?
So as I said, I flew up to DC 3 times in the last month to try to convince Trump not to do this. It didn't work. It happens. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, boy, this is not going to get better. So then I think I'll fly up again and ask him. I mean, I don't know if anyone else is doing it, so I'm going to try to just declare victory and go home. Like, you killed an 86-year-old cleric. Let's just call that a win and then pull back. And so then, meantime, he got convinced to denounce me. Okay, I don't care. I'm going to fly up anyway and see him, right? Even though he's like denouncing me. So I call over there to see, call someone who knows him to see. I said, I'm just going to fly up anyway and tell him this because I think it's so important. And the person says, don't bother, because he's being shown polling that this war is like a 90-10 win for him. And I said, I don't know where that polling is coming from. It's like, I guess you could make any kind of poll, and he's watching Fox News, which is telling him the same thing, and he's getting fake polling. I guess they're only polling Sean Hannity's viewers or something. And so I'm not sure that there's a sense, as if this was yesterday, because I was getting so agitated and worried. I don't think that there's a sense that this is unpopular. Like, I think there's an information vacuum here.
So I'm a little bit confused, because you got so much to say about Bibi Netanyahu and Israel. You publicly oppose our actions in the Middle East, yet you absolve Trump as if he isn't a whole adult. You've infantilized the president of the United States, who surrounds himself with yes men. You know what you sound like. You sound like Trump. The fact that he has no accountability for himself. It's either him declaring victory or he got bad advice. It's never, you know what I mean? It never and you wonder why the media doesn't have more integrity when they're following Donald Trump, as are you. And that is the independent media. That's the integrity you can find in the independent media. We have cases like them paying people to support ICE.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around.
In fact, isn't this one of y'all's mans over there too? Gunther Eagleman, like most of Con Inc., will post anything for money, including TPUSA propaganda. Here's Eagleman providing his Cashapp while refusing to post about a patriotic MAGA topic, except for $300. I'm sorry, brother. I charge the same for anyone. And this was long ago. He's likely doubled his rates per post since then. I have no doubt in my mind he makes frequent paid posts on behalf of third parties for TPUSA and Jake Hoffman through multiple different paid posting and influencer companies. And as sad as that is, at least that's a whole human being. At least you actually know that there's a person behind that account. Because we've seen the proliferation of bots as well.
Might have to start calling her fans bots instead of barbs, because she has allegedly almost 20,000 fake followers.
That's a lot.
And now Cardi B is being drugged into it. So there's a data disinformation detection company studied Nicki's social media platforms and said that her political posts in particular were boosted by almost 18,000 bots.
It makes you wonder about the wisdom of going through the song and dance of commandeering TikTok and making sure that you have nominal control over Facebook and Instagram when right-wing social media is this fried. I mean, that's fried hard. That's the kind of fried hard that had people got the stink face late at night at the curry out. That's that kind of fried hard. And that's the independent media. We already know what's up with the legacy media. Tune in at 1 p.m. Major CBS anchors a CBS News special report on the U.S. and Israel attack on Iran. Guests include a senator who wants to bomb Iran, a congressman who wants to bomb Iran, a general who bombed Iran, a dissident who wants Iran bombed, and an NSC official who wants Iran bombed. All perspectives covered. And we all know exactly why that is.
Today, a $111 billion deal is about to put CNN, HBO, CBS, and Warner Brothers under the control of one family, the Ellisons. Larry Ellison, worth over $200 billion, is one of Trump's biggest donors. When Trump approved their merger last year, Ellison agreed to gut diversity policies and hand CBS News to Barry Weiss, an opinion blogger whose website he bought for $150 million. Her first big move as editor-in-chief? Killing a vetted 60 Minutes investigation into Trump's deportation policy, 3 hours before air. The correspondent called it corporate censorship. 11 of 40 evening news staffers walked out. Now Paramount wants all of Warner Brothers, including CNN. Trump publicly said it's imperative that CNN be sold. Ellison met with him at the White House. And the DOJ that would approve this just had its antitrust chief purged. Netflix walked away today. Not because their deal was bad, but because fighting a politicized Justice Department wasn't worth the risk. One family, 2 news networks, and a president who treats mergers like loyalty tests with no regard for the public.
But if you really want to know just how cooked the media is, we have to go to the Charlie Kirk platform, where they tried to convince us it's what Charlie would have wanted. Despite the evidence of whole posts and video to the contrary. I think they must have forgot that Charlie was a human being. And he's more of an idea. And we get to make the idea whatever we want, kind of like our version of Christianity.
He also always did have trust with the president, and he would look for the bright side of things. And he was an American patriot, so he would pray for our success once that began. And I just want to say that to offer perspective on how I think he would have felt about this. And that's not to use Charlie as a shield. That is not to say everything just revolves around him, because he's not with us anymore. But I know all of us are feeling the lack of Charlie in a moment like this, because he was a natural leader of the movement.
Well, I think that's also, as soon as all of this broke out, you saw that social media immediately went to go find Charlie clips, because he still is, even in death, the leading voice on a matter like this.
Well, and sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and it makes me upset, though, because for these people that didn't actually know Charlie, like Blake, you said it, in private, he would be not happy with the situation, and he would express his thoughts. You'd oftentimes see him talk about it on the show, but then as soon as this would happen, he would have trust in the president. He would try to calm people down, and so it's really irritating for me to see so many people on social media have the opposite reaction, to use his voice to actually cause chaos, to actually cause fear of the situation, to actually cause hatred of President Trump in this whole ordeal, when actually that's not what he would want.
We got an email when it comes to Iran and the Middle East conflict. It's directed at Charlie. From my man, Nate Hall. Hey, Reese, make sure you throw in a line about how you don't want to see no black pilot flying in this war, because like Charlie Kirk said, if they're black, you're going to wonder if they're qualified. So we don't want to see one black pilot or one black soldier die in this war because of DEI. The brothers should be safe, because like the white supremacist said, black people are not qualified. DEI, don't enter Iran. Nate, you you ate on that one. You ate on that one. Don't enter Iran. I like that. I like that. That sounds like that's going to see a t-shirt next. It really is. That sounds like that's going to see a t-shirt next. Hey, just stay tuned. Now, you almost fried them hard as Candace.
I'm going to be honest. There are some words that I want to echo out like a battle cry. Here they are.
President Donald Trump has said, I will not allow Iran to get a nuclear weapon, because he has said when crazy people have weapons of unthinkable violence, you have to deal in reality. The longer I live, the more I realize that puritanical ideological approaches to situations like this are not helpful. On one side is the Lindsey Graham, John Bolton types, where they are actively calling for regime change. Here is Lindsey Graham. This is just lunacy. We want to go all in and take out the regime. It's time for us to close the chapter on the Iranian Ayatollah and his henchmen and start a new chapter in the Middle East. And that sounds good, doesn't it? But what have we learned when it comes to wars, and especially wars in the Middle East? What you draw up on a whiteboard rarely happens.
Oh, Charlie, if only you knew that they're trying to convince us that the legacy of Turning Point USA is actually neocons. Neocons will be opening for AmFest, people that want war, people who are cheering about regime change in Iran today are the very people that your wife is going to hand over the keys to. Trying to convince us that that wasn't your perspective, that you didn't have issues with these people philosophically and morally, right?
Did them so dirty, had them clarifying their own very defined position when it came to Charlie Kirk and Iran.
You guys are off the rails. I assure you, we are doing our best to communicate how we think Charlie would have felt through all this. We, of course, can't know. Yeah, he's not with us.
Well,
sadly.
And listen, I walked with Charlie alongside. So did you, Blake, about the way Charlie handled Operation Midnight Hammer, the lead up to that. Privately, he obviously expressed his reticence, and then, but he said, honestly, he said privately and publicly to me, he said, listen, if Trump decides to go, we're going to have his back. Okay. I mean, that Charlie worked his butt off probably harder than anybody else in this country besides Trump himself to get Trump elected. And listen, I think that we are not questioning Trump's leadership here or his instincts. But listen, anytime you go into a regime change situation, there are going to be unintended consequences. And to act like there's not going to be unintended consequences, I think is foolish. But we have his back. And now that we're going, we're praying for success. We're praying for the security and safety of our troops. I woke up this morning at 2:30 because my daughter woke me up. And I just literally started praying for our troops because I was feeling anxiety about it and I want them to be safe. There's 6 dead servicemen. So listen, we're trying to honor the spirit of Charlie, but obviously we don't know how he would have reacted. And anybody who tells you he would have, he's not here right now.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Did you go from this what Charlie would have wanted to anybody that tells you they know what Charlie would have wanted is full of it? Is that it? Boy, they earn their red hats, man. They put it back on. Now I know you threw it in the trash. Just go to that landfill and go find that red hat, put it back on. You deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. You deserve the full dragging. And I made this point before because when it comes to Charlie Kirk's platform, or specifically Turning Point USA, when you step in it, when it comes to things like Charlie on Iran, when we have all this video evidence, or even the bots that didn't comment when it came to the TPUSA halftime, but then yet you expect us to trust you when it comes to the big things. And you wonder why people are asking so many questions when you're full of holes on a regular day. Hey, I found the BS. Here it is. They repeat offenders, officer. They here every weekday, spreading the same nonsense. Oh, MSNBC, MS Now, don't go nowhere. No, don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Because y'all know, y'all do phenomenal work, typically. Okay, y'all do some phenomenal work. But just like I drag CNN, have had reason to drag them on occasion, wasn't this y'all?
Fractures within the MAGA coalition are on full display, with right-wing influencer Candace Owens at the center of it. Owens is facing major backlash over her new online series. It's about Turning Point USA CEO Erica Kirk, the wife of late conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
Nobody knows why she's out there in a glittering pantsuit in a recreated tent that her husband tragically was murdered in, throwing merch out.
Everyone believes differently, so if someone's acting weird, don't read into that.
And there she was on set with me now, senior reporter Brandy Zadrozny. I remember when you were doing those live shots. But listen, Owens launches this one day after Erica Kirk was at the State of the Union. She was the president's guest, so I wonder what the reaction's been like.
You know, there are two. MAGA is no longer a cohesive political movement anymore. And there are, I like to think of them as the far right and the far out. And so you have this large collection of really far out people who traffic in conspiracy theories, who believe in sort of nothing, who, think that the Epstein files is now proof point of what people like Alex Jones have been saying forever, that there's really a secret Jewish cabal of millionaires, controlling everything, and just sort of live in this fact-free fantasy land. And Candace Owens is the queen bee of this land right now. And, it almost seems like, well, should we really pay attention to what, a YouTuber Candace Owens says? But she really does have the attention and the imagination of a large wing of the MAGA movement. And what she's saying about Erica Kirk is really disgusting. It's all of these innuendos and suggestions that she said the other day that Erica Kirk should be dragged dragged to the police station. And so, no matter your politics, I think that, again, the shared sense of reality is also a shared sense of empathy. We can all see Erica Kirk and we can say, I may not have agreed with Charlie Kirk's politics, but he shouldn't have been murdered. And his wife certainly shouldn't be harassed now by these crazy right-wingers.
And his kids shouldn't have been left without a father. So let me ask you about whether this is emblematic of a larger rift that's growing between MAGA, as you call them, the far right, and those far out folks.
It definitely is. It's really difficult right now for a lot of the people in MAGA land who were really the intellectual, giants within MAGA land, like Charlie Kirk, people like Ben Shapiro, who are now having to accept the fact that, Charlie Kirk hired Candace Owens. Ben Shapiro hired Candace Owens for the Daily Wire. These are people who have elevated her to where she is. A lot of MAGA has grown on the backs of conspiracy theories. Think about, the election loss. Think about Pizzagate and all WikiLeaks emails. Stuff like that really was the engine for a lot of the conspiracy theories that drove the MAGA movement. And now certain people in the MAGA movement are saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. Not those. This is off limits. Unfortunately, when you open a box like that, it's really hard to put it back inside.
Now, I gotta take my time with this one. It's interesting that they characterize the backlash that Candace Owens has received when she got, 8 million views? I think she got 8 million views in a couple days. And all it's characterized as is the backlash, right? That's all it's characterized as. No acknowledgement of some of the very real issues that people have with Erica Kirk and how she carries herself. Now, multiple things can be true. Multiple things can be true. Candace can be Looney Tunes and out of pocket. And we also can have some serious concerns, questions, and problems with the way that TPUSA and Erica Kirk are conducting themselves. They're not mutually exclusive, but apparently, Erica Kirk has entered into some kind of protected class whereby if we cannot verify, or if we can poke any amount of holes in the messenger of the person that's bringing her the smoke, no questions and no validity is to be had from anything surrounding her. Hey, yo, what the And it's funny, too, that they characterize as we don't have to agree with Charlie Kirk's politics. Well, if you agreed with Charlie Kirk's politics, number one, as I said in my video earlier, you would have been screaming from the rooftops at them trying to co-opt his death to shut down free speech. but you damn sure wouldn't be cool with a woman commandeering Turning Point USA when he traipsed around the country telling them to get back into the kitchen. And that's a point that I bring up whenever I possibly can about the women on the right, the Megyn Kellys of the world, who traffic in this Christian nationalism, this neo-Christian nationalism, looking to subvert all of the advances of women's liberation, but it apparently doesn't apply to them. I can be out here, I can be out front, I can make the money, I can have my name on the marquee, but I damn sure am going to try and shut down those opportunities for your daughters and even mine.
But wait, there's more.
It's also funny, too, because apparently Erica Kirk is deserving of a certain amount of protection because of the losses she suffered. Well, that's interesting, because I can take you to a lot of men and women and children that have lost loved ones that get no concern or consideration whatsoever.
I hate it here.
Want to go to the other part of town? Y'all want to go to the other part of town? You know what I mean? Where we get the chorus of, why didn't they just comply? But all of a sudden, Erica Kirk is deserving of all of this grace. A woman that's been showered with money and fame, by the way. And one of the points that Candace did make, she talked about the fact that she's taken over this large-scale charity that is receiving hundreds of millions of dollars tax-free, and apparently no questions are to be asked of her because of what? Because of what? Because she lost her husband? That's the only reason she's there.
You don't find that suspicious?
That's the thing that absolves her from any level of scrutiny? I can tell you this. That's a crazy president to set. That's a crazy president to set, if that's what we're doing. Hey, we found all the evidence in the bedroom. Oh, no, she lost somebody. We can't ask her any questions. She lost somebody. Not saying that's this situation, but again, that's a crazy president to set if that's what we're doing. And now let's talk about Candace. Because one of the things that I had put in that video is about all of the right-wingers that have come out of the woodworks to drag Candace and call her a demon and evil and this, that, and the other thing for attacking Erica Kirk. Well, she wasn't a demon when she was attacking the victims of police violence, now was she? She wasn't a demon when people were rightfully fearful for their lives and she went out in a White Lives Matter shirt, was she? Was she evil when she made the George Floyd documentary? I believe George Floyd's family had something to say about that. They didn't get this kind of protection, and they didn't have this kind of money, and they didn't have this kind of position, which gives them a certain responsibility to the public for taking in all this money tax-free. They didn't have none of that, and they didn't get any of that protection. And Candace wasn't a demon and an evil then, but now she's a demon and evil.
Huh? What?
It's this and that, by the way, there was a ton of that content from right-wingers, but MS now, that's not it. That is not it. I'm like, boy, if Paramount Plus is finna take over CNN, MS now, you gonna fumble the whole bag. You gonna fumble. That was not it. That was definitely not it. I mean, really, the degrees that, And this is actually a point. I'm gonna quote Nick Fuentes, which is crazy. Because one of the things that he talked about is how you're playing into Candace's hands. I don't think y'all understand how much the lengths that you go to protect certain people are indicting. You wonder why people have so many questions and so much concern about what's going on at TPUSA and Erica Kirk, and then you look at the media moving like this.
Man, this some more bullshit.
All of a sudden, it is, to ask the people on the right? All of a sudden, it is conspiracy theory. And it is unreasonable and completely unhinged to continue to ask the same questions about Charlie Kirk's death that y'all were asking, because we had this FBI investigating. The same FBI that's trying to find jets to actually get places on time because Cash went to go see wrestling. The same FBI that just dismissed 7 people because they dared do their job and investigate Trump. We had this FBI, the Department of Justice, helmed by Pam the Dow is over 500 Bondi, because that's above reproach. Apparently, it's unhinged now to ask the same questions that y'all were asking 3 months ago when we haven't gotten any answers. That's nuts. That's nuts. It's really a sister act to the Epstein files. It's a sister act to the Epstein files. Because with the Epstein files, you saw the drumbeat of we need to see the Epstein files, and then they saw that Trump didn't want to release it, and they turned on a dime. How dare you hold the same opinions that you had 6 months ago? And I'll be damned if Charlie Kirk ain't the exact same. The exact same. Maybe Megyn Kelly had a point. Maybe we could use a Jasmine Crockett in the media, to stand on business. I'm just playing, Megyn Kelly. I just wanted you to come closer so we could all see that trash bag you still wearing. Yeah, it's got a little bit darker. Hey, I'll be careful. I will stay inside. You might lose that job to DEI. Did somebody say don't enter Iran? Somebody said... Oh, I heard DEI. I got confused.